Hello, everyone. Welcome to this Salesforce to Salesforce integration video. My name is Matthew, and in this video, I will show you how we can integrate Salesforce with Salesforce. Exalate is a decentralized solution, so that means we need to install it on both sides. I will drop the installation instructions in the description, and let's get right into it. So you should see normally a Salesforce on the left side, a Salesforce on the right side. And these are different instances. So on the left side, you can see 8.7. On the right side, you can see 5C. So it's two different instances. They are not connected right now. I can show you. So if I create a case on the left side, so for example, I could say case 1 on 3rd of April, and I save it. And then this will not replicate itself on the destination side. So I can refresh and we can see it's not there. So what we do is we install Exalate on both sides, and then we make a connection between the two systems. So to download it, you go to the marketplace, you download it, but I will drop it in the description. After you have downloaded it, you can serve here to Exalate, and then here is where you will end up. So this is the node that will sit on your instance. So it's a single tenant node. So all services, databases, processors are all unique. So you'll get also a unique node for your instance. So I got a node for the 8.7 and I got a node for the 5C. All right. So the only thing we need to do is make a connection between these two nodes, and then we can start playing around with it. So you go to connections, and then from either side, you click initiate connection, and you need the destination instance URL. So let's take exactly that and paste it. And then we'll see we have two options, script and basic. Basic is for synchronizing 4 fields, summary, description, attachments, and comments, but it's really basic. So if you want to do any kind of extensive use cases or any kind of scripting, I would always suggest you go to the script mode. Since the basic is really basic, I'm not going to cover that. I will instantly jump in the script mode because this is where all the fun is of Exalate, and I'll do my best to explain it so you can also play around with it. So you select script, click next, local instance. So let's take Salesforce 8.7, remote instance, Salesforce 5C. All right, and then we initiate it. And Exalate is going to provide us with a shared token. So we can copy that and we can send it to the admin of the other side. Now, here we can really see that we can integrate two different companies because you can just share this token to the admin on the other side, and then he or she will accept it and then paste it here, and that's it. So click next, and here we go. So what we can do now is if we go to this case, what we are able to do now is we can send this over to the other side. So you can see Exalate is here, and I can say Exalate, and then I'll just select our connection and I click Exalate. So this is a manual process, but we can automate this as well. So we could say, okay, based on a certain filter, this case goes over to the other side. But right now I'm doing it manually. So if we refresh our left instance, we can see it's waiting for remote. So it's just waiting for a verification message, and then it will turn green. So still waiting for remote. Give it one more second. I'll just refresh this. Waiting for remote. Okay, so it's synchronized. And that means if I go to the Salesforce side, then here we can see that the case is here. So now it's in bidirectional sync. I don't need to click on anything on the destination side for it to sync back. So out of the box, if I add an update, I could say, hello, this is 5C instance. We are posting an update. Then this will reflect itself on the source side. So I could change any single endpoint, any single field inside of this case, and it will reflect. We have to map it if it's not a standard field. I will show you later how to do that, but it's really straightforward. So what we can see now is that it's picked up again. There is a change, it's picked up. So we'll see in Salesforce here that the update. All right, so the update came over and now it's in bidirectional sync. Okay, so now I did it manually, but what if you want to automate it? So if you want to automate it, let's say, let's go back to all the cases. Let's say, okay, if there is a field and it's called company, and if that company is Exalate, then it should go over automatically to the destination side. So how do you do that is you go to the sites where you want to start the integration from, and then you click on triggers. You say create trigger, and then here you can see, okay, which entity type needs to be selected. So I'll do accounts later, but now let's do cases. So if you select case, then we have a visual interface or a script interface. This script interface is the where clause in the Salesforce developer console. So if you want, you can also just make a query, copy that, paste it here, and it's exactly the same. So if we say, okay, if the company is Exalate, then the ticket needs to go over, okay? So we'll do that and we activate it. Awesome. So that means if I update an existing ticket or I make a new ticket with that filter, it will automatically go over. So either I can make a new ticket or I can just search for an existing ticket and then here, okay, this already has Exalate, so let's just take this one. Okay, ABC. Okay, so now I say here Exalate, and then you'll see that nothing is happening right now, so it's not synchronized. But if I refresh, then we'll see it's going to get picked up. So now we can see it's picked up and it will be synced over. So not only for existing tickets, but also for new tickets. So you just make the filter and then Exalate will do the rest. So if we go to all the cases inside of our destination instance, then here we got the latest ticket. So we can see there is a direct link between these two. And that makes it really easy and nice to jump between these two. Okay, so here we can see they have different IDs. So they are fully in sync and you will never get this synchronization if they are not in full sync. Okay, so this is cases, but how do we configure this a bit? So if we go to our connection and then we go to edit connection, and I'll do the same here, then we can see that there is two options. So you have an outgoing sync and an incoming sync. So what is happening? The outgoing sync is responsible of sending over data and filtering out the data that needs to get sent over. So on the right side, you take all the fields that you want to take data from. Exalate takes a copy of it, puts it into this replica, and then this replica is the exact payload that is getting sent over to the other side. And then here, this is that replica. And this will just be reassigned to the entity on the destination side. So the exactly same thing happens vice versa. So on the outgoing sync, you filter which data you want to send over. And then on the incoming sync, on the destination side, you decide how is that going to get assigned. So now you can see, hopefully, that we can really integrate to different companies, and the admins of the companies, they can decide, okay, this information needs to go over, this needs to stay inside its classified information. So to see exactly what is in the payload, let's just take first a field that we want to add. So let's take, for example, color. So what we can do is you go to the fields and relationships table and you take the field name. So here, color __C. So you just add it here. So you could say replica dot color fields, and then equals entity dots. Okay, so you just publish it, and then on the other side, let's take a field that we want to have it mapped to. So custom type incident, for example, and then we just do the reverse. So we go to the incoming sync, entity dot this, and then we need replica dot color fields, exactly like this. Okay, so publish, and then now we just say, okay, the color is blue today. And if we go to the payload of this ticket, so what you can do is you can take the ID, you can go to the node, you can go to entity sync status, and you can paste in the ID of the case. And that will give you more information about what exactly is a payload that is getting sent over to the other side. So let's just find that out. Case, this. So I click search. And then, yeah, we'll see what's in the payload. So just 1 second. Okay, in progress. So show local replica. This means what are we sending over? So this is the outgoing sync basically. And you can see here that it's added. So now if I go here, then refresh, then we can see that this has appeared. So we first need to send it over. So always when you work with Exalate, it's a 3-step process in my opinion. First, you go to the connections, you go to the outgoing sync, and you make sure that all the fields that you want to sync over are in there. And then you verify that with the entity sync status. After you have verified that, the only remaining thing is going to the destination site and basically reassigning how it's coming over. So that's a one-to-one mapping. But what if you want to do a many-to-many mapping, like the status? So you got multiple values on the source side, multiple values on the destination side. How do we deal with that? So the first thing you need to do is you go to connections and you make sure that the status is there. So let's check here, status is there. So now I can go here, I take the ID, I go to entity sync status, and then here I say case. And then put in the ID and say local replica. So we were trying to find out how is the status getting sent over. So we can see it's status.value. So what we do now is we go to the destination site, and then here we go to edit connection, and then we need to look on the incoming sync. So let's see, okay, the status, it's here. I commented it out because we're gonna write it ourselves. So what we need to do is we're gonna define a status map, and then we're gonna put in some values. Okay, and then we're gonna reference that. So we're gonna say entity.status equals status map from the replica dot status dot value. And then if it doesn't find it, we will put it to new again. So let's take, for example, new to let's say new, and then let's take working to escalated, just as an example. Okay, and then what we do is we publish it. There is also documentation about this. So you can just search on our documentation side, a status, Salesforce, and then you'll see exactly what you need to write down. Okay, so we go to our incoming sync, we publish it, and then here, let's put it to working, and then save it. And now exactly the same thing happens again. So there is a copy getting taken of the values of the fields that you have specified on the source side. It will be sent over fully encrypted to the destination side, where it will be unpacked and assigned how you have configured it. So let's see a refresh. You can take up to 20 seconds. So just bear with me. But yeah, here we have it. So we can see that the status has changed. All right, awesome. So if you want to do any kind of use case, then just go to our documentation site. So I'll quickly show you. So docs.exalate.com. And then you have a couple different options. So you have Aida, which is an AI, which is trained on all of our use cases, all of our documentation. So you can just quickly ask the chatbot to help you out with a certain thing. Like, please give me the code to make statuses work. And then what you also have is you can go to scripting, configuration guides. What you find here is if you go, for example, Salesforce configuration side, you'll find the most used things. And then you can also get the API reference documentation. So now we're looking for Salesforce, and here we have it. And then it's everything that's available for synchronization. So you can't only synchronize over cases, you can do accounts, opportunities, all of that. And then, yeah, you also have our support side. So hopefully this has been useful. And this is just a tip of the iceberg, what you can do with Exalate. So feel free to reach out to us or to drop a comment and we will respond to it. I hope you have an amazing day and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.